Right, hello everyone, this is Product Shard, and today we're here with the Wednesday-Thursday commentary. And today is the first time I've ever had to do a commentary a second time. Because my mic has some strange issues. I may have bent one of the little plug thingies, but I think it's fixed now, and it was making some really weird noises, which I only realised once I'd finished recording. So, I guess I won't be repeating myself, but if you're watching this, then hopefully it has fixed itself. If not, then I'm very sorry. But to talk about today, the first thing is today the Black Ops 2 servers went down. It's the 20th of February for those of you who aren't watching it on the day I put this up. It'll probably go up the day after I record this anyway. But on the 20th of February, the servers kind of shut down for no reason that I can find anywhere. I've checked Treyarch's Twitter, their Facebook, just checked online generally, and there's no real news about it or anything, but I went on earlier and there was 0 out of 0 people in every playlist, on every game mode, and it was kind of weird. You couldn't get into any games, it just wouldn't join any. I couldn't find any games. So I know this happened to Feldy as well, but I don't know whether this was just like my internet or it was just England or if it was something like that. But if you just tell me if it happened to you. In America, it's more like early morning, I think. Someone told me it was like 9 hours behind. But in America, yeah, it would be early morning. So just let me know if this happened to you as well, because I literally can't find anything about it anywhere. And it would just be nice to have a bit of peace of mind. It could be about like the patch. They recently had a new patch for Xbox and PS3, and it added some new stuff and security things and patch things. The one thing I look for in a patch is like the gun balancing stuff, and they've kind of it seems like they've given up on it now. The only balancing things were like 1 or 2, so guns I can't actually remember. So I'm not sure it was particularly important, but it definitely wasn't to any of the submachine guns. Wasn't to the PDW or the MSMC or anything. The M8, which all, in my opinion, need. There's still work to be done, basically, in different classes and different guns, and there are still a few glitches that you can take advantage of, like the hybrid sight glitch, where you can switch between the scopes on like a hammer or a what's it called, the SWAT, and it will like fire really fast. They don't seem to have fixed anything like that, so I'm not too sure what the patch was for, as they haven't nerfed any guns, they haven't made any guns better, Beast Headshot, and it just didn't really seem like they'd done much. I don't know whether they're saving it for a bigger patch, but they fixed a few problems, which is good. But the main thing I wanted to talk about today is something that K-Rald, who asked the question last week, has asked this week's question as well, or if they're like topic to talk about. If you want to ask me anything, or you want me to talk about anything, then do leave it in the comments below, and I will talk about it next week, and I will cover them all and try and give you the information you need. But this week is kind of like, what games are you looking forward to in the next year, he asked. And this was pretty difficult for me to actually answer, because when I think about, what games are coming out this year, yeah, it is this year, I couldn't really think of any. Obviously there's COD coming out, like the next one. There'll be stuff like that, like the yearly releases. And that was basically it. That's all I could think of. Because I don't really follow the different games that are coming out now. My mindset has changed on that sort of thing. It used to be a massive thing, finding out all the news about the new things, trying to know as much about the game as possible before it came out, so you could kind of pretend that you know everything to all your friends. And it was like getting the game first and stuff, everything like that was the biggest part of gaming, really. Well, I guess not the biggest part, but it was a big part. Like, if you were the first one, then you could show off to everyone and know everything, and you could just be the superior person at that game for a while. And that was a massive thing at like Black Ops 1. I remember walking up to school and I was like, well, like 2 or 3 of us had the game. They'd gotten it on the day of release, and then there were another 2 or 3 of us who hadn't. And the 2 or 3 that had the game were obviously much, much higher level than any of us, and they'd already tried out the guns, and they were telling us about which guns were best and stuff. And that was kind of one of the big parts of kind of the releasing and stuff. But for MW3, because I didn't think I would actually get the game, because I was a bit bored of COD at the time, I got MW3 maybe a week, 2 weeks later than everyone else. And that kind of changed my mind about all that sort of stuff, because they were all talking about it for like 2 weeks, and to be honest, I didn't really care, because I was bored of COD at that point, so I was not paying any attention to it. And then I did end up getting it, because you do, for some reason. Everyone does. And, well, by the end of it, I go AFK here for a sec, so sorry about that. But by the end of MW3, I was 14th prestige, I think. And they were all like 6th or 7th. So by the end of that, you kind of realise that it doesn't really matter if you get it first or second. If you're going to play the game and you're going to be high level and you're going to know all the stuff, then it doesn't matter when you get it, to be honest. Obviously, if you get it months and months after, you'll have missed out and stuff like that. But days, weeks, it changed my mind about all that, and it kind of made me realise. And I now no longer really follow any games. I don't. I guess I watch a few trailers, but I don't really like cinematic trailers. If it doesn't have gameplay in, I kind of discard it, and it doesn't really count in my head if for like a game trailer, which is I'm kind of going to contradict later, but never mind that. And so yeah, I don't follow any of it. I don't. The only thing I do is like I have posters of games from PC Gamer that they review, which aren't out yet, and stuff like that. I have that on my wall, which is kind of my little thing to say, yay, I follow games and stuff. And the only things I could really think of, the first one that came to mind is Torchlight 2. No, Torchlight 3, sorry. If it is going to be called Torchlight 3. Torchlight 2 was, as most of you will probably know, probably was my favourite game of the last 2 or 3 years. And it is, I won't go on about it, but it's a great game, check it out. If you're bored of first-person shooters and stuff. And then they're obviously going to bring out a Torchlight 3, I think. I think they announced like that they were working on it, obviously. But they said that it's going to be like a different kind of game. It's not going to be the top-down RPG that Torchlight 2 and Torchlight 1 were. They're going to change it up a bit. This is MW2 gameplay with Vector Akimbo, by the way. And that's kind of got me, like, that's like the one game that I would follow. Because I did enjoy the others so much. Well, the one before. I never played Torchlight 1, really. And so that's the one that I would follow and know all the news about. But other things, I kind of just wait until it comes out, because they can tell you as much as they like, or as little as they like, as the case may be, in trailers and in like interviews and stuff. But the only way to really know like whether you'll like a game or not is when you play it. So I basically am now in the mentality that I just wait for the game to come out, play it, and then decide whether I like it, rather than looking at a trailer or a little bit of gameplay and thinking, oh my god, that is going to be an amazing game, it's going to be so much better than the last one, because so many games disappoint you now. And so that has scarred me, basically, in the whole I follow games and I know what game's going to be the best. But there are a few that I've kind of seen things of and I'm thinking of getting maybe when they come out. The first one is BioShock. That kind of looks pretty cool. I never played any of the originals, but I do kind of want to play this newer one. It does look pretty cool, and it may make me play the BioShock 1 and 2 There may be a third one, I can't remember. But it may make me play those two, which is kind of good because I play it for the story, and I would want to like know the full story. So that could get me into a few other games and get me off COD for a bit, which is becoming more and more needed. But there you go. That's one that I kind of vaguely know about. But there's also Metro Last Light. If none of you have played Metro 2033, then go have a look at that. That's a pretty fun game. It's all about like in Russia after a nuclear war, and there are mutants following you and trying to kill you and stuff. And probably sounds a bit generic, but it is a pretty good game. It's very fun and a little bit different to everything else that there is out there. It's kind of old, but that is why they're bringing out this new Metro Last Light. And I've seen like the PC Gamer article on that and some stuff about it. And because the last one was actually so fun, I'm thinking of getting that, and I'll probably follow that through its development, I guess. Or it may already like be basically finished. I can't really remember. But that's something I'll probably be looking forward to. And as I said, I'm going to contradict myself. But there is a game called Cyberpunk, which, if you haven't seen the trailer, it is a cinematic trailer. So there's no gameplay or anything. But it is like really, really slow-mo. And it's got some pretty cool, well, basically slow-mo. But it is a really cool cinematic, and they have done it very well. And I will... That's a game that, when it pops up on the shelf, I will probably think of buying. Or when the next trailer comes out, it's one that I'm going to click on straight away, rather than watching other stuff first. Because it did catch my attention. So if you haven't seen that, type Cyberpunk into YouTube and have a look at that trailer. It's definitely worth watching. See if it's your sort of thing. But what are you looking forward to? I know some guy like asked me to tell. Well, that was like the question. But since I don't really follow it, and I've probably missed out so many games that are actually going to be really good, that have been announced and stuff. But what are you looking forward to exactly? It'll probably be a lot different to me, because most of you probably aren't looking forward to Torchlight. But cheers for watching. If you have any other questions that you want me to answer next week, any topics you want me to talk about, then leave them in the comments, and I will do that next week. But other than that, what are you looking forward to this year, gaming wise, and I'll see you next time.